To think what this summer would be like if we were still using the old wildfire tactics of 2018. We'd be choking on smoke from wildfires that had started over the past few weeks. There was the Spence Mountain Fire outside Klamath Falls, the Caldwell Fire in Siskiyou and Modoc counties, the Applegate Fire, and the Worthington Fire, close enough to Eagle Point to require some residents to prepare to evacuate. There have been many more, and they all have one thing in common. The helicopters flew, the bulldozers rolled, and firefighters attacked with all they had. Commissioner, what do you think it would have been like if we hadn't had the manpower and the equipment to fully suppress the wildfires that started over the past few weeks?
I think both the manpower and the equipment and the will to fight them was extraordinary, and I think it saved our communities, like Eagle Point with the Worthington Fire. My fear when I saw it blow up so quickly is a paradise event, and I'm just so impressed with the Department of Forestry, our agencies all working together and putting the fire out.
If we didn't have the assets, the large air tankers, the Type 1 helicopters, the bulldozers, the engines, and the boots on the ground, that easily, considering the conditions were extreme, high winds, dry and hot temperatures, that one could have easily been one that spread out of control and could have been a wildfire that filled our valley with smoke. So the initial attack and the will and the absolute mindset to put it out and put everything you had on it right away, I think really paid off in this case.
We never really have enough, but we've effectively had it managed. And it would have been horrible without that. I mean, Mother Nature is something you never predict, and we didn't have the 1,000 lightning strikes that we had 2 years ago. We're fortunate. We're also fortunate to have 2 area managers that have listened to us. And they are working collaboratively and effectively with us, even though they may not have all of the things they need, because that is often on a first come, first served basis. So who can predict that, and which area the fires will start? So we're fortunate that we have very effective people in those 2 positions. We'd like the policymakers above them to listen.
This is what we hoped would happen when we started this project in 2018. We asked residents of this county and those around us to appeal to state and federal stakeholders to change past practices that left our valleys filled with oppressive smoke. Now, even with fires all around us and COVID-19, our efforts have made an economy-saving difference. Commissioner, we know you've been battling on 2 fronts here in Jackson County, the effects COVID-19 is having on all of us, and the ongoing effort to secure funding for the full suppression of wildfires. Can you tell us what you've been hearing from citizens on both counts?
What I hear from citizens is they have never seen our fires so aggressively attacked and controlled. And they are thankful and appreciative, as are we. We push for that funding, for those resources. And I know with COVID-19, our agencies had more cost because of to protect firefighters and more issues they dealt with on the scenes of the fires that we've had.
People are extremely grateful that we haven't had the smoke and the wildfire issues that we've had in past summers. I know that they have recognized the fact that our partner agencies, Forest Service, ODF, have really made a concerted effort to coordinate and collaborate with us to make sure that they are engaging in aggressive initial attack to prevent any sort of large wildfire events from occurring in the valley.
The biggest one is we hope we don't have a season like we did 2 years ago. The fire and the smoke, the lack of livability. In terms of COVID, people are just very nervous, many fearful. How do they support their families? How do businesses open? How do schools open? And what business would run on a business plan that allows them 1/3 of the capacity that they have for business? So there's a multitude of problems. We're all working hard trying to respond to it. We've had some infusions of cash to help, and we've recently put a fairly good-sized chunk of that in an umbrella agency called United Way to review and help people with things as simple as their utilities and rent, and to keep them safe in their homes. So we're doing some very unusual things, giving very unusual circumstances.
As far as COVID-19, we are in the middle of that. What I'm hearing from people is really a mixed bag. People that are just very afraid of the virus and its effects, and those that are trying to run businesses and work and get kids to school that just are a little frustrated with all the restrictions coming from the state government.
There's substantial and severe impacts to our businesses, our local economy, our physical health, our mental health. It is absolutely taking a toll. And one thing that I really am gratified to see is that we didn't throw our valley being filled with smoke on top of that. I think that would have been a blow to the collective psyche of our valley that have been hard to recover from.
We've come a long way, but state and federal legislators need your help as they fight for resources and changes to forest policies that have been around for over 35 years, and it can't come soon enough.
Please join us in asking that politics be set aside, that
State and federal stakeholders are prepared to put out every fire when it starts.
Jackson County, please help us in this effort. This is not the time to let up.
Visit jcwildfireandsmoke.com to sign the petition, get updates, and comment to our government partners in this effort. That's jcwildfireandsmoke.com.